This is a short video that will demonstrate how to change the cartridge on your BrainDancer Dynamic Phantom for fMRI. The cartridge will last about 6 months and should be replaced after that to ensure that you are using the proper contrast to generate the best signal in your MRI. Each cartridge is marked with a serial number that contains a date code. The first 4 numbers refer to the year and the month in which it was produced. Additional numbers may indicate the level of concentration in the cartridge. That would be the year and the month. To change the cartridge, you will need 3 tools. These will be ferrous, so please do not do this process inside the MRI room. You'll require a 3/16 Allen key, a 9/64 Allen key, and a box wrench of about 11/16 or a small adjustable wrench. When the new cartridge arrives, remove it from the packing material. Notice the longer white shaft on one end that has a slight slot in it. You should spin that when it arrives to make sure that the cartridge was not damaged in shipment. If it spins freely like that, that means that it's in good shape. All right, to begin replacement, what you're going to do is you're going to take the box wrench, and you're going to use that box wrench and you're going to put that onto the smaller part of the shaft coupling, the part that is closer to the cartridge. All right, at the same time, you're going to take your other hand and you're going to grab the larger nut, the one that's closer to the gearbox and the rest of the Phantom. You're going to grab that and you're going to hold it really tight. And you're going to keep that still. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the box wrench and you're going to turn that nut in the counterclockwise direction to loosen the entire coupling. But it's very important that you keep a firm grip on the larger nut to keep the force of the wrench from transmitting to the gearbox in the BrainDancer. The gears are only made of plastic and there could be too much force from the wrench on those parts. So you're going to hold that firmly, you're going to take the box wrench, you're going to pull it, in this case toward me, to turn it counterclockwise, and you see it comes loose very quickly. Once it's loose, I can just rotate that small nut about the rest, full turn, half a turn, until the little screw in that part points upward. Once that screw is pointing upward, I can take my smaller 9/64 Allen key, place that in the screw on top of that smaller part of the coupling, and I'm just going to rotate that about 1 turn counterclockwise, and that will loosen that up. And as soon as I've done that, the next thing I can do is just grab hold of that whole piece, the entire coupling, and just slide the whole thing back onto the shaft of the Phantom. All right, now I take the 3/16 Allen key and I start to remove all the screws that hold the cartridge in place, and there are 8 of them. Now what you want to do when you're removing these screws is you take most of them out, probably leave 1 on each side to the end, and then take those out last. And when you do that, you're going to need to just support the cartridge a little bit because it is kind of heavy, and as soon as you pull the last screw out, it's probably going to want to drop down from its own weight. So I'll just hold that in my hand there. Second to last screw coming out here. Okay, and that's it. I take the old cartridge, put it on the side, grab the new cartridge, get ready to put that into position. Alright, hold that close and start to put in the screws. Best to put them in just by hand first. Try to get as many of them in as you can. And then it's best to put them all in and then tighten them at the end once they're all started in their thread holes. right, when you're putting them back together, you want to be careful not to over-tighten those screws. One of the things you can use, if you wish, is a torque driver like this one, which is available from ALA Scientific. These are set up so that as you tighten them, when the screw gets in, they will eventually just give. So you see I can turn the handle, but the screw doesn't advance anymore. And that force is set to a specific amount, which we've calibrated because there are plastic screws in use, and we don't want to damage them. But you can easily get the feel for it and use the regular driver, just being careful at the end, you know, just to give it a little bit of a tightening, but not too much force that could possibly damage the screw and break it off in the socket, which would be problematic. All right, once the 8 screws on the cartridge are secured, now it's time to put the coupling back. You're going to again observe the little slot in the top of the shaft that's attached to the cartridge. Take the cluster, the whole coupling, slide that toward that, and make sure that that slot is upward and the little screw on the shaft, the screw on the coupling slides into the slot on the shaft. All right, and you want to push that all the way in, and then if it touches the frame of the cartridge, just back it up a millimeter or two, just so there's a little bit of space. Then you're going to take your 9/64 driver again, you're going to put it in that screw, and you're going to tighten that up. Again, it's just what we call finger tight. You know, you just want to get it until you start to feel it bind. You don't want to over tighten that, but you want to make sure that it's secure. All right, now you need to tighten the shaft coupling. So the way you're going to do that is just, you can take your other hand, grab the end of the shaft that comes out of the cartridge over here, and you see that in my right hand. And then with my left hand, I'm going to again grab that large nut on the coupling. I'm going to hold that firm, and I'm going to take this hand, I'm just going to rotate the cartridge like this, see, until it spins a little bit and starts to bind up. Once it starts to bind, again I take my box wrench or my small adjustable wrench, I put that on the smaller nut, the one that's closer to the cartridge. Again, grabbing a firm grip on the bigger nut. Now I go clockwise to tighten that up, and I just carefully get that worked in while I'm holding it. And as soon as I start to feel that I can't hold it anymore, then I don't tighten it anymore. And that's good enough. Then I can check the fit. Just again grab the shaft that comes out of the front of the cartridge, try to wiggle that back and forth. It should be tight, there shouldn't be a lot of play, and if it is, then everything's all good and the Phantom is ready to go. Okay. Then I can check the fit. Just again grab the shaft that comes out of the front of the cartridge, try to wiggle that back and forth. It should be tight, there shouldn't be a lot of play, and if it is, then everything's all good and the Phantom is ready to go. Then the old cartridge can be sent back to ALA Scientific Instruments where the gels will be processed properly and disposed of correctly, and then the rest of it will be recycled for other cartridges. If you have any questions, please contact support at ALA Scientific Instruments. That's support at alascience.com, or call 631-393-6401. Thank you.